application.
Yeah, 485. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the EAD, like typically they used to grant EADs within 4 to 5 months,
Okay.
but now with this huge caseload, I'm assuming that it will be much delayed. Okay, so but again, they can, like, even if they don't get their EAD in a timely manner, they can still move on to a different employer. Like once they hit the 180-day mark, once they hit their 180-day mark, they should not have any problems moving to a new employer, but they'll have to continue to be on H1B or something, which will allow them to work.
Got it. Thank you so much, Santosh Garu. And let me move on to the Q&A sessions. Let me go and pick one. And the number ending with 1821, you're on live. Go ahead and ask your questions. I think Kolla Praveen.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for taking the call. So my question is, currently the dates are open because of the October bulletin. Can USCIS change the bulletin like after October 1st, before the November bulletin comes in, and can it retrogress? Is there like a certain date that we should file within before, like let's say if it is November bulletin, then we know that it should be before October 31st. But can they do like within the month, to retrogress? Randomly, can they come
should
up
not
with
do that.
They
typically should not do that. So, but
okay.
They should not do that. But again, it's up to
so that
US.
We have at least,
because this didn't happen 4 months,
October,
right? Yeah, typically you have until the end of October to file the application.
Okay. Because some of the documents might take time, so I just want to make sure that we have enough time.
I would not recommend that. Okay, so when you say some of the documents, are you referring to the birth certificate or medicals?
Yeah, more of that. Yeah, more of that. Okay. Yeah, because others we should already have from.
Yeah, so medicals you're not required to submit it right now. So if the medicals is causing the delay, then please do not wait, because you can always submit the medicals once you receive an RFE. Okay. Regarding the birth certificate, go ahead.
Good. And regarding this RFE, so will you get this RFE after you get the AP and EAD, or RFE is before you get the AP or EAD?
Okay. So the EAD application to advanced payer applications are processed separately than the 485 application. Okay, but if there is an RFE, right, then you'll have to, they will not process the 485 application. At the same time, they may be a hold on the EAD advanced payer also. Okay, so but again, instead of waiting too long and then not being able to submit the petition in a timely manner, I would suggest that you submit them at the time of RFE.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah,
and medicals RFE, I don't think you'll receive anytime soon, because until your prior date becomes current, you're not even ask for it.
Right. It might get invalid as well. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Praveen. We'll move on to the next call now. The call ending with 7402, you're on live now.
Hi, this is Shilpa. Actually, like I have a couple of questions. So I'm planning to file I-485 with my old employer, and actually, like my current employer actually is filing perm in next 2 weeks. So let's say it takes 6 months. Will I be able to, and if dates are current after 6 months, will I able to cancel the previous I-485 processing and file I-140 and I-485 with my current employer after 6 months, if the dates are current at that time, because my priority date is 2011 March?
You will have that option. I'm not saying that you not have that option, but the chances of the situation arising again is very little. So in either ways, I would recommend that you go for you file for adjustment of status now.
Okay. And one more question: if I have to file I-485 with my previous employer, is it mandatory for me to work with my previous employer?
Yes,
before,
that's what I said.
before EAD.
Sure. in the beginning of the call, I mentioned, right? Unless you work for that employer, either for 180 days from the date you file the 485 application or once you get your green card, you may have issues at the time of citizenship interview.
But can I work after EAD gets approved, something like that, instead of before EAD approves? Because again, I have to transfer my H1 to them, and I don't know how long that would take.
No, you can. It should be fairly simple, right? Like you just need to file the H1B application, transfer, and you can start working for that employer once they file the application. You don't have to wait for the approval. And even if you file under regular processing, you may get the approval in 2 to 3 months but you should be able to continue working for that employer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, if you're not able to join now, then join them at least once you get your green card. That's another option.
Okay. Yeah, that's what my question is. Like,
Yeah.
I want to join them after my EAD gets approved. So that's why at least I'll be safe, and I don't want to take risk with H1B transfer because of the client letters, employee-employer relationship. There might be a lot of things that
nowadays it's very easy to get H1B approval, right? Because the USCIS has relaxed the regulations. So pretty much everybody is getting 3-year approvals. They're not as strict on the right of control issues.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You should look at just Google USCIS memo regarding H1B filings. Then there was a memo that was released a few months ago that changed everything regarding the right of control.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, bye.
Thank you so much. And let's go to the next caller now. The call ending with 6639, you're on live now.
Hi, this is Paveen. I have a question regarding I-140 revocation case. The employer revoked I-140 and had to move my spouse to H4. So can she go back and can the employer refile the I-140?
The employer can refile, but there is another issue here. Okay. The employer might have revoked the I-140 because he might have had issues in proving the ability to pay for other petitions. Okay. Now, even if you go back to the employer, the employer will have to show the ability to pay from the date the perm application was filed, right? So definitely there could be some issues unless it's a big employer who has a lot of assets or the net profits. Okay. But it is doable, but there are a lot of risks associated. So you have to evaluate the case properly.
Oh, okay. So, but then she would retain her priority date.
Yeah, she will retain the priority days. Yeah, anyways, yeah. She will retain the priority date.
So if somebody else is ready to sponsor, right? Can they sponsor on H4 EAD, and then what is the process?
They can do that.
There.
They can sponsor on H4 EAD. They can file the PUM application, and then the I-140 once the PUM gets certified. But this will take some time for you to get the PUM certified, right? So by then the priority dates may.
Yeah, PUM will take time.
Yeah.
Okay. And second question, you started off with the comment saying a fresh 140 has to be applied if you are downgrading. What happens to the previous?
It will remain.
Like
the previous 140 will still remain. The EB2 140 that was already approved will still remain unless you withdraw it, unless the employer withdraws it. Okay, so the employer does not have to withdraw it, so it will remain there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next caller. The call ending with 7470, you're on live. Go ahead and have your questions.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. So my question is, it's around that employer movement, right? So I'm currently working for employer B now. My employer A had my EB2 I-140 approved. So if I convince my employer A to file for my I-140 EB3 downgrade with 485, while I'm still working for employer B, who have just applied for my perm. The perm is still in progress. So my question is twofold. One, do I have to, let's say if my employer A EAD perm is approved, do I need to, can I start my new I-140 485 with the employer B at the same time while my employer A has started on EB3 downgrade?
No. See, with this new employer employer B, you have to go through the perm process again, right? Until you go through with employer A, you don't have to go through the perm process because you already have the perm certified perm from before. But when it comes to employer B,
Correct.
you have to go through the perm process again before you can file for I-140 or adjustment of status.
Got it.
Is it?
But what I'm saying was, if the employer A has started the EB3 downgrade, right? And if that 485 process is in progress, and let's say my employer B, the perm is approved, can I start with the EB2 485? Let's say assuming the EB2 is current that time, can I start that?
Oh, so okay? You're asking me whether you can refile the 485 application based on the newly approved EB2 I-140 and from employer B. Is that what your question is?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. If the prior dates are current, you can file another 485 under the EB2 category, because there is no restriction that a person cannot apply more than one 485 application. There's no restriction from the regulation. Nowhere it says that you cannot apply. You cannot apply for more than one 485 application.
Sure. Thank you, sir. One last question. Sorry. So let's say if my employer A, right, if I get the EAD approved that time, whatever the time frame is, that, do I have to join them as employer A at that time, or I can still continue to work for employer B when the EAD is approved?
You don't have to join for employer A, but if there is an audit or if the USCIS wants to verify, they want to make sure, like, you need to prove that you have the legitimate intent of working for that employer in that position, right? If not, you should not be filing the adjustment of status in the first place.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take one more call from Saurabh. Here you go, Saurabh. Saurabh, can you hear us? Okay. Let me go for the other call now. Okay. Call ending with 1446. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I have one question basically. So, when I apply my 140, my son is like 13 years. Now he is almost 23 years. Can I add him also adjustment of status?
Good question.
My dependent.
So, yeah, there is something called Child Status Protection Act. Okay, so we have to look at all the numbers, the dates, and everything, and then he may qualify. But so look up CSPA, Child Status Protection Act, and you should be able to calculate the dates.
Okay. Like how we will calculate? Generally, small example. How we will calculate? Like what I said is like 140 time is 13 years. He is 9th grade. Now so almost 10 years. My period.
Yeah, he should be fine.
Now he okay. Okay. So can I can add him also adjustment of status, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's what my question.
Sure. But I don't want to
Thank you.
give the perfect answer without looking at the actual dates, because yeah. But as I said,
Okay.
CSPA would apply for him.
Okay.
So
Yes,
he'll be eligible.
yeah, I went through that. I went through that also, but I'm not
Okay,
sure.
okay.
But
Sure.
maybe I can contact you personally. Maybe I can take one appointment so that I can work with you after this call.
Sure.
So,
Because I just want to look
thank
at the dates. That's more important.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And let's go to next caller. And the call ending with 1806. Sorry, please go ahead.
Hey, yeah. Thank you for taking your time, sir. So I'm in the same situation as other caller. Like I'm with the current employer, but my old employer had filed me 140 back in 2011 on EB2. So the date has become current right now. At the same time, my current employer just filed the form last week. So it's going to take at least 4 to 5 months for it to get approved. So my question is that when do I need to start working with the employer, old employer, if the EAD gets approved?
Well, it does. Okay. So this has nothing to do with the EAD. That's what I think a lot of people are asking me the same question. The date you have to start working for that employer has nothing to do with the EAD. You don't even have to file for EAD now. Okay. You can just file for adjustment of status. Right? So you have to have the intent to work for that employer at the time of filing the perm, at the time of filing the I-140, at the time of filing the I-485 application. So in your case, you actually had the intent to work for that employer, and the employer had the intent to hire you at the time of filing the perm and I-140. But when it comes to the 485, at the time of filing 485, since you're not employed, it's a little tough to show you have the intent, right? So, but as long as you go back and work for that employer once you get your green card, then you should be fine.
Oh, once I get the green card?
Yes, once you get a green card, if you go back and work for them, you're fine.
Oh, okay. So I don't. So, but in the meanwhile, can I get the EAD and?
You're required to work in that position once you get a green card. Okay, but you should have the intent to work for that employer at all these stages.
Right, because when the labor and the I-40 was filed, I was working with them. I just moved out only last year.
I recommend, if at all possible, I recommend go back to that employer and then file adjustment of status, if at all possible.
The problem is I have some commitments with the current employer. That's the reason I may not have the chance to go back to the old employer right away. But at the same time, I don't want to miss the opportunity. That's why I want to understand. And the other thing is, as the same caller asked, right? If my firm's approved in next 4 months and the dates are still current, can my current employer still file for 485 in concurrent filing 140?
Yes, they can do that.
They can do that, and what will happen to if I already my EAD was already approved, but 485 is still pending with the current old employer? That's fine.
Okay, although you file adjustment of status through your old employer, you'll continue to maintain your H1B status. Okay, do not for everyone. I'm telling you. Okay, although you're filing for adjustment of status, I highly recommend that you maintain your H1B status. Okay, because you never know, anything could go wrong with the green card application. If something were to go wrong, you should still be able to stay and continue working based on the H1B status. Okay, I know this could take some years, but at least you want to use the adjustment of status EAD and advance payroll as a backup. Okay, so I highly recommend that you continue to maintain your H1B status. In that way, when the priority becomes current again with this new employer, if you want to file for adjustment of status, you can do that. You can also withdraw the old one.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have one more question following up because my daughter is 19 years old right now. So in case if the dates retro gets back and my current employer cannot do anything with the filing, and if I get the EAD from the old employer for myself.
Yeah, in that case, I would just stick with the first one.
Okay, so in that case, I can go back and join the old employer and use the EAD from that point.
Yeah. Okay.
And then so when I join the old, sorry.
Sorry
your
to
daughter
interrupt.
will be eligible for Child Status Protection Act, based on when your new I-140 gets approved and all that stuff. So that's also an option for you.
Yeah, she's right now 18. So I think if I apply right now, she's still under 21. So she should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can she use the EAD in that case if she need the, so can she apply for the assistant based on the EAD?
Everybody is, yeah, whenever you file for 485 application, you are eligible to apply for EAD and advanced payroll too. So you can apply for EAD for her also.
Right, and once she get the EAD, even I'm not moving back to the old employer, can she use that EAD and apply for assistant?
She can do that.
Thank you so much, Gupta. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, thank you.
Because so many people, so many callers are waiting, so
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And from now on, let's have like one or two, just like 1 to 3 questions, and so that all the callers can have a chance to talk with Attorney Santosh Garu. Let me go ahead and give a chance to Saurabh again, because he's requesting me too many times. Okay, let me unmute him.
I think Saurabh is here.
Yes, Saurabh.
Okay, hi. So I have a question. So I have my, with my employer A, my previous employer, I applied for my perm originally with a priority date of November 2011. And I've got I-140 approved with them. Then I moved to employer B. They again applied for my perm.
Okay.
And I got 140 approved again in EB2, porting the date. So my question is, it's still November 2011. So my question is, can I, with my employer B, can I downgrade to EB3 and apply for both 140 and EB3 as well as 485 concurrently with my employer B?
Yes, you can do that. Okay. This is the best option that you have. Just don't stay with the same employer B and then downgrade your I-140 from EB2 to EB3 and then file for adjustment of status concurrently at the same time.
Okay, understood. One final question. For my birth certificate for filing 485, I just noticed yesterday that it does not have my name on it. So what are my alternatives in that case?
Okay. So are you able to see this chat? Let me send you some information. Let me put here in the chat. In that way, it'll be easy so that everybody can use it. 1 second.
Santosh, only a couple of people can see the Zoom call. Most of the people are calling from the other conference number. Yeah, the information what you have provided, maybe we can provide on the Facebook live or through the immigration forums page.
Okay.
But not most of the people can see.
Post it now or?
Yeah, maybe you can just pass on the information. We can post it on the immigration forums page.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Saurabh. And let me move on to the next call. Okay, the number ending with 6639, you're on live now.
Hi. So I have a question regarding this I-485. Once the adjustment of status is filed, right? While that process is on, how many days or months or years in this case, in the current situation, would it take for getting the EAD?
Well, EAD you will get it within 4 to 5 months, or maybe because of the huge caseload, it might get delayed by a couple of months, but it will not take years. EAD will get quicker.
Okay.
EAD and advanced payroll you will get it quickly, but the 485 application will take years to get approved.
Okay.
Unless something
is it for 3 years that they issue the EAD or?
No, typically they issue EADs for 2 years if the prior date is not current at the time of filing for EAD. If the prior date is current, then they issue the EAD for 1 year.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next caller. And the call ending with 8353, you're on live. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. My name is Aditya. And my question is pretty simple. I am with my employer since 2011 and I have a 2012 priority date. and I'm planning to downgrade to EB3 and apply for 485 with 140. So what is the downside? Are there no downsides in my case?
I would not. I don't
what
see
if the
any
140?
downside unless I don't see any downside unless your employer does not have proper financials. For example, when you file for I-140, the employer has to show that they have the ability to pay you the proffered wage as stated in the PERM application, right? So, assuming that your EB2 was approved, like you mentioned, it was approved in 2012, right? Maybe they filed the I-140 in 2013 or 2014 maximum, right? So at that time, they were able to prove that they have the ability to pay you. Maybe their financials was good and you're already getting paid so much. So let me ask you a question. Are you getting paid at least the salary that is stated in the form application?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay,
More than that, way more than that, yeah.
Yeah. If it's more than that, then you should be fine. I don't see any issues.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And let's move on to the next caller. And the call ending with 8440, you're online now.
This is Kumar. I have two questions, sir. One is my filing date has been current. I'm preparing my documentation. So for employment authorization card, I had to file 485 along with the medical records and also give the birth certificate because I have some issue on getting my birth certificate, which will take some time. That is my first question, sir.
So regarding the birth certificate and all, I think Spandana will email you, will send you an email on what are the other options available if you're not able to get the birth certificate. So you should be fine with if you have other documentation like the affidavit and then your what do you call your degree certificates that show your date of birth. And also try to see if you can get a non-availability certificate. If not, that's fine. Just go ahead and file for it. And even if you're not able to provide the birth certificate and the medicals, you should still be able to get the EAD in advance payroll. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Second question, sir. My daughter is now.
By the time you receive an RFE, you should be able to submit all these documents.
Okay, but that will not stop the EAD.
It should not. Yeah, unless you receive an
okay.
You'll be receiving 485 RFE that quickly.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The second question, sir. My daughter is now 13 years old, and my priority date may get it current within another 5, 6 years, or even 10 years when the date moves. So, what is the option? So, can I apply for my daughter also EAD? So, when she reaches 18 years, we can still here.
You can apply for EAD now, or you can also apply for EAD at any point of time, as long as you apply for adjustment of status now.
Okay, so she will not be deported back, or will not be any other issue when she reaches
No. Make sure to file a separate adjustment of status application for your wife and your daughter.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ravan. Let's move on to the next caller. I think Manoj is on the call. Manoj. Are you there, Manoj? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me go on to the next caller. Sorry. The call ending with 3496. You're on live. Ashok.
Hello, Santosh. Thank you very much for taking time and answering all the questions all these days. My question is very simple. I hear that driving license is required for filing. Any chance?
No. So they're asking for a government issued ID, and you can use the passport for that.
Okay, not required any government. US issued any ID, right? As long as passport is good, you're fine.
Your passport, they should be fine.
Thank you very much.
Are you done with your question, Ashok? I think so.
I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. And let's move on to the next caller. At the call ending with 6137, you're on live. Go ahead and ask your questions.
Hi.
Are you done with your question, Ashok? Yeah, you can just go ahead.
Thank you. I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Move on to the next caller. The call ending with 6137, you're on live. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Santosh Garu, and also thanks for facilitating all this.
Are you done with your question, sir?
So my question is regarding the public charge. So there is a lot of uncertainty on that front. How and what are all needed for the public charge? The credit report is one thing which will be taken care, but the main question is the English speaking, because some of them may not have IELTS written in in recent times. So how do we handle that?
Luckily, none of the individuals that are applying under the EB3 employment-based category would have this kind of issues. So as long as you never took any public benefit, you should be fine. Okay, as long as you not apply for any food stamps or any other public benefit, you should be fine. Even if your credit score is not that great, you should be fine. So as long as you have minimum education, there should not be any problem. And anyone because especially because the H1B holder, because anyone who is applying for these adjustment of status is H1B, and I don't think they will have any of these issues. So I do not quite understand. Do you have any particular case that you're referring to? Because typically we run into 944 issues only in family-based sponsorship applications, but I haven't seen anyone on H1B applying for food stamp because they're actually or any other public benefit because they'll be making enough money so that they will not qualify for any of these.
So specifically the situation is some people may have Telugu or other medium certificates when they studied earlier. Yeah. So how do we handle that?
That would not cause any problem. Yeah. So although a person has studied in Telugu medium, should not have any problem. They should not have any problem. So don't worry about that.
Okay, I think you got your answer, Venkat. I will be moving on to the next caller. The call ending with 6639, you're on live now.
Hi, I have a question. Some of the people on the call asked about EADs for dependents. So if you have children, what would be the minimum age that they would qualify for work permit?
There is no limit as such, but since you will be paying extra money in order to apply for EAD, I would not recommend applying for EAD unless the person wants to start working now. Okay, you have the option of applying for EAD at any point of time while the I-485 application is still pending. Okay, so if your children are 13, 14, then you should just apply for adjustment of status and advanced payroll. Do not apply for EAD. You can apply for EAD when they are ready to start working.
Okay. One other question I have is related to driving licenses, right? So for most of the people, we have, based on the current H1 petition or H4 approval notice, they have this status check that is on their driver's license. So when you apply for adjustment of status, what kind of proof will be provided in order to, extend anyone's licenses?
Good. So typically until October 2nd, right? Whenever somebody is filing for adjustment of status, they used to automatically file for EAD and advanced payroll because the same fee used to cover everything. Okay, but now with the new fees, right? Now you have separate fees for EAD and advanced payroll, right? So some of them may opt out of filing advanced payroll and EAD. Okay, so before this, people used to just take the EAD advanced variable card, and then we used to be able to extend their driver's license until at least that date. Okay, and again, varies from state to state. Okay, so when you go to the driver's license office, you just take a copy of the adjustment of status, pending adjustment of status application receipt number, and also I would recommend taking a copy of your EAD and advance per approval notice.
Okay, that will be used. Okay, so the chances that the driving license might be extended are going to be based on the date that is on the EAD, like for 2 years or 1 year, correct?
Any document to show that you're authorized to stay. And actually, even with adjustment of status, because you're authorized to stay based on that adjustment of status application, right? So you should be able to use that also for the driver's license.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. And before I move on to the next caller, please, whoever in the call, please talk a little louder so everyone can hear you, and maybe they might have the same questions, or at least they'll get their answers. Thank you. And moving on to the next caller, the call ending with 5416, you're on live.
Hey, if previous company has 140, and if you file the 140 as a previous 140 is the EB2, now move to the EB3 and apply the 140. If it is rejected, what is the status after previous 140?
Previous 140 will remain as is. Right, so the previous I-140
you won't see
the EB2 I-140 will remain.
Okay, the previous 140 is good. It won't be. You won't see any issues if the new 140
unless CSAS finds out that there is some fraud involved, fraud or misrepresentation. But you should be fine.
Is there any case 140 is approved, rejected for the 480?
I didn't quite understand. So are you asking me if there is any situation where a previously approved I-140 has been revoked by USCIS? Is that what your question is?
No. If you apply EB3 140 is approved, is there any case 480 going to be rejected?
Well, if the EB3 is approved, then 485 will only be rejected if there is some issue with your personal this thing. Like, for example, if you, there are a lot of questions that they'll be asking in the 485 application, right? Like security checks, criminal checks, and all that stuff. So unless you have those issues, you should not have any problem with the 485 application.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for
that. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your call. Let me move on to the next caller. The call ending with 1913, you're on live.
Yes, sorry.
Hi, thank you so much for organizing this. My question is, my son reached 21 years 2 weeks ago, and I'm planning to port to EB3 and file for adjustment of status in October. My question is, would he be eligible to file along with me for the adjustment of status?
Again, it's the same thing, right? CSPA would apply for your child, so you should be able to do that.
Yeah, so problem is we are unable to understand how to calculate those days. So it's just like he's missing it by 18 days.
Then I can help you out. Just email me all the details and then I can help you out. So in your, most probably in your case, you should not have any problem because your child has, your son or daughter has crossed 21 just few weeks ago.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. My second question is, we applied for his change of status to F1 because he's in college now, 3rd year, and he didn't receive the approval yet, so I applied for B2 as well.
That's fine.
He didn't receive the approval for B2 either, so should he leave the country or can attend the classes? on B2 while F1 is pending.
I didn't quite understand. So, what is this? So you filed a change of status from H4 to F1, I guess, right?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. So he can continue to be in
not-
the country and go to school.
Yeah, my question is that can he go to school while
Yeah.
he's waiting for F1 approval?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that answers my question. But I'll reach out to you on the eligibility for change of AOS.
Thank you so much. And I'll provide the details of Attorney Santosh Garu details at the end of the session. So from there, you can just go ahead and reach out.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And the next caller will be Manoj, and you can go ahead and.
Hi, Santosh Garu. This is Manoj. I'm one of the directors from Immigration Forum. I would like to thank you for taking this session on Sunday and helping the Indian community who is in the backlog, and Shaila as well, who has coordinated this effort. I do have a couple of questions, sir. One question is if you go from EB2 to EB3, what will happen to our EB2? If EB2Q is moving, whether they'll consider EB2Q or EB3Q?
No,
that's
once
the biggest question.
Yeah, once you file the 485 application under a category, they process your application at that same category. Okay.
Okay.
But there is something called interfiling. So when you do interfiling, like if you at some point of time, if you see that the EB2 dates have become final action dates have become current, whereas EB3 is back, right? Then you could do some what is called interfiling, wherein you'll ask USCIS to change your 485 application from EB3 to EB2 category based on that approved I-140. But if at all possible, I would not recommend doing all the stuff because you don't want to touch the file once the adjustment of status application is pending.
Okay. Okay, sir, one more question in the same thing. What is the difference between final action dates and this thing? A lot of confusion. Okay, right. And even that what dates, what chart USCS should consider also on the day when the bulletin was released, right? There was a lot of confusion. We have an understanding that one chart is for VAD and one chart is for green card. If that is the case, both charts should be valid for every month, right? Why they're saying this month we'll consider this chart and that other month we will be considering other charts?
Okay. So here there are two agencies involved. Okay, one is Department of State, the other one is USCIS. Okay, Department of State is the one that issues visas, that issues the visa bulletin, that allocates green card applications for various categories. So typically, all the green cards are approved by Department of State, right? But if a person is in the US, then USCIS has the authority to allow them to adjust their status while in the US. So although Department of State will clearly state, okay, this is the final action date and date of filing. So now USCIS will decide which dates it will allow to accept in order to accept the adjustment of status applications. They can either go with the final action date or dates of filing. If they do not mention anything, then you go with the final action date. Typically, in the last 1 year or 2 years, I have only been seeing that USCIS has been accepting all the applications based on the final action date. This is the first, like in the last 2 years, the first time that I've seen that they are accepting the adjustment of status applications based on the dates of filing. So initially, on the day when the visa bulletin was released, it was not like we thought, like, okay, since the final action months, and based on the previous experience, we thought like, okay, it's not going to make much difference. But luckily, USCIS has allowed all the applicants to apply for adjustment of status based on the dates of filing. Hence, you are able to file so many applications now.
Okay. All these people will only be getting ADs, right? Until the final action date moves, then only there is a chance of issuing green card.
Yeah.
Until then, this chart is only for EAD. This one is for
Well,
only EAD bulletin.
This chart is for filing for adjustment of status. Okay.
Okay.
So when you file for adjustment of status, along with that, you have the option of filing for EAD and advance payroll.
Got it. Sir, one more question. For suppose people have a birth certificate, already they have a birth certificate. If there is a delay in getting the birth certificate, can they file an application without the birth certificate, and once you get the RFC submitted, or do you recommend to have an affidavit or something?
Yeah, there are certain documents that you can get easily, okay, like the degree certificate and affidavits and all. I can actually send you an email. So, or anybody, all you need to do is just type in Google Visa Reciprocity India. Just type in Visa Reciprocity plus India, and it will show you a link where you can look up the documents that USCIS or Department of State will accept in as substitution for your birth certificate. It's pretty simple. Just Google Visa Reciprocity plus India, and then you can select birth certificates and all, and then you should be able to see the list of documents that they will allow.
Okay. So, one more question was requested by other member in the group. The question is, they are in EB2. They are in August current month. Okay, their current date is August of 2010. Do you recommend them to go to EB3 or stay in EB2?
No.
There's a lot of speculation that their EB3 has more numbers or less people, they get green card faster, and EB2 has more numbers, green card, it will take time.
I would suggest stick with EB2. Don't make that change right now. Okay, stick with EB2 just for adjustment of status. Because definitely at some point of time, you will see more number of applications under EB3, because there is a huge volume of applicants who are porting from EB2 to EB3. Okay, so it's better to stay on EB2.
Okay. So if people whose date is not current in EB2, they can go to EB3, right?
Yeah. So that's what I said in the beginning, right? Anyone who has a priority date before Jan 1st of 2015 will be eligible either directly by filing adjustment of status or downgrading from EB2 to EB3 and filing for adjustment of status. So pretty much everyone who has a priority date before Jan 1st of 2015 will, in one way or the other, should be eligible, unless they change the employers or like the employer is not supposed to.
You recommend to do it, or you recommend to not to do it?
I recommend doing it, because see, this is a one-time opportunity that everybody is getting, right? You don't want to miss this opportunity, because you never know. Maybe they will scrutinize. They will scrutinize the H-1B regulations or whatever, right? At least this way, with once they apply for adjustment of status, they will be able to apply for EAD advanced payroll, and they should not be able to worry about their H-1B status as much. Okay, but again, I still recommend that everybody maintain their H-1B status until you get the green card. So if for some reason, if you go out of status on your H-1B status, at least then this adjustment of status application will act as a backup for you.
Yeah. So to this question, one more small question to this question. If you apply for EAD card, if you still maintain your H-1B, do you need to go to stamping when you go to India, or enter using EAD to the country?
So you can come. Okay, there are two things here. Okay, when you enter back on advanced payroll, right? When you have payroll, you cannot change your employer and then change the status. You have the option of, like for example, if you go out of the country and if you continue to work for the same employer, right? For the same employer, and then if you use the re-entry permit to enter, you can continue working on H-1B. But if you're planning to change the employer, then you may not be able to get the I-94 with the H-1B approval notice, because you will not be able to have any status, because you're authorized to stay, but you do not have any status which can be extended.
Okay. If I continue with the same employer, if my current visa stamping on the passport is expired, still I can use the advance payroll to enter, right?
Yes, you can use it. But when you're trying to transfer to a different employer, right?
Okay.
Okay. Then you cannot, you'll not be able to get the I-94. So at that point of time, you have to go for stamping.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Because you're not considered to be in state. You're authorized to stay in the country, but you're not in status.
Okay. Last question before somebody take it. They are asking for credit reports. How does it matter whether if somebody is having loans or car loans or house loans? How is it going to impact?
Yeah, as I said, this will not impact anyone who is on H-1B because you're making enough money. You have much above the median income, so it should not be a problem. Okay, even if you miss 1 or 2 payments here and there, you should be fine. Don't, as long as you do not seek any public benefits, you should be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much, Santosh Garu. I'll leave the call to others. Thank you, Vandana.
No worries. Thank you so much. And they're really, really awesome questions. Most of the viewers have those questions. I'll move on to the next caller. And before I move on, the time is ticking so faster. Maybe with your permission, Santosh Garu will have 15 more minute session.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. The next caller will be ending with 0929. You're online now. You can just go ahead and ask your questions.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, we can hear you, I think. Do you have any questions? Let me move on to the next caller. Okay, the next caller will be 0291. You're on live.
Yeah, hi. Hi. So my question is, me and my wife, we both are on H1B with, but my 140 is approved and her 140 is approved with her previous employer. So she moved to a new employer recently and her firm is not yet processed. But the thing is, her priority date is 6 months earlier than mine. So hers is like June 2010 and mine is November 2010. So the only option we have right now is processing my application. So if we start off with, processing mine and, for example, say after 10 months, her date becomes current, can we both move on to her application because hers is earlier than mine and
you can do that.
If the green card date moves, becomes current earlier.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So we both can apply on mine, and once her date becomes current, we can move on to
both of you can apply on yours, and then both of you can apply on hers also.
Okay, sure. So what happens to mine? Do I have to cancel it, or would that run parallelly?
You cancel it at a later point of time. Yes.
Okay, sure. And one last question. So can we, me or my wife, can we travel to India while the
Okay.
processing
So
is
another thing that I want to be very okay. Typically, once you apply for adjustment of status, you are not supposed to travel out of the country until you get your advance payroll. Okay, but there are certain exceptions available to those who are on H or L visas. Okay, but I highly recommend that. Of course, there is an exception wherein H1B worker or L1 or H1 their dependents can travel while the adjustment of status application is still pending and before you receive the advance payroll. But to me, I try to be a little more conservative. I recommend that you wait until you get your advance payroll so that nobody can question this at a later point of time.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep, that's all I have. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wrap it up at 12:30 if you don't mind. I have another call to take. So
Okay. So we do have 6 more minutes. Yes, sure. I will. Thank you. The call ending with 0929. Please go ahead. Karthik, I guess. Okay, I will move on to the next caller as we don't have much time. Okay, the call ending with 5744, you're on live.
Hi, thanks for taking this call. I have a priority date of 2013 November from employer A. Now I'm with employer B. My firm is approved like 2 months ago. They started the I-140 process in EB2. So to have this opportunity, should I continue the EB2 and do EB3 in parallel and file AOS?
Yes. Just submit another 140 under EB3 process. Okay. And then
So both can run in parallel without any issue?
Yes, you should be fine.
Okay, and I have one more quick question. So once you get EAD for the next renewal of EAD, do you need employers' details or you can do on your own?
You can do it on your own. You would only need employers' details on 485J. Other than that, you don't need any employer support for anything else. Only for 485J.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Santosh.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And
I'm done with my questions. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll be moving on to the next caller. The call ending with 3747, you're on live now. From Austin, Texas, the call is 3747.
Oh yeah, hi, Karan here. My question is like...
Can you be a bit louder, sorry?
Yes, my visa status is currently on F1 and my H1 got approved recently with the status. So I'm not sure whether I supposed to go to India for stamping or not. My visa validity has expired already.
Did your H1B get approved along with I-94?
Sorry?
Was your H1B approved along with the I-94?
No, not with the I-94.
Name?
This October.
Does your do you have a copy of your H1B approval notice with you?
Yes, I do.
It would say whether your change of status has been approved or not.
I've checked with my college and they said it's in the same F1 status.
No, it's college because the college would not have proper information. Okay, their service records are not getting updated properly. We have had situations where the change of status was not approved, but the service was terminated, stating that the change of status was approved. Okay, so you cannot go with whatever the college says. You should look at your approval notice. If the approval notice will clearly state whether your change of status has been approved or not. Read the approval notice in detail and you'll be able to see that one.
Who should I check with on that one?
You can check it on your okay.
Please go ahead and
notice itself. It should be written on your approval notice itself. Or check with the attorney whoever filed. Just send them an email. They'll reply.
Okay, yeah, sure. So if it is approved, I should not. No need to go to India.
If it's approved with I-94, then you don't have to travel. You can continue working on H1B. It'll automatically start from October 1st.
Thank you so much for your question, and I'll be moving on to the last call. Only one last call, as it is already 11:28 a.m. CST, and the Santosh have one more minute. Last call, lucky call, I feel. And the call ending with 9634, you're on live.
Yeah, hi, thank you. So my question is, I'm planning to downgrade from EB2 to EB3. So I'll file 140 downgrade application along with my AOS. The question is, and I was told that I cannot file in premium the 140. So if that's true, how will USCIS process these applications? They'll wait for 140 to be approved first and then look at my AOS and issue EAD, or it should not matter?
Okay. So there are two things here. First of all, you could be eligible for applying under premium processing if you have the original labor with you. Okay. Typically, since if your labor was approved like 10 years ago, they may not have the original labor with you, anybody, right? The blue copy. So the employer would say that you can only file under regular process. Second thing, it does not matter when your I-45 application will be adjudicated. Okay. Once you file for I-485 application, based on that, as long as that 485 application is pending with USCIS, they will process your EAD and advance payroll. Right? So it does not matter whether the I-485 application is approved or not, or adjudicated or not. So, and I-485 application process time is much longer than I-140 adjudication time. So, this question, so you don't have to worry about this question at all. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. The fact that they are not able to adjudicate application does not affect your case in any way, because anyways, the visa numbers will not be available anytime soon. Okay.
Agreed.
And for the application in general also, it probably takes 6 to 7 months, and your I-140 will be reviewed in 3 to 4 months.
Okay, got it. But I should still look to getting EAD by 5 to 8 months after I apply for it. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, thank you. That was my question. Thanks.
And thank you so much, Santosh Garu. And one last call, please, if you don't mind. One caller, she's waiting from such a long time, and she's requesting so badly. I'm so sorry. Let me try to bring her. Renu, I guess. I'm trying to. Just give me a second. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
7310. Let's see. I do not see, I'm so sorry, I do not see her, I do not see her proper name on the list. Renu, and please just message me or something. Maybe we can ask Santosh Garu, and also I can provide the details of Santosh Garu. You know, if anyone wants to get in touch with Santosh Garu, please reach out to him on 703-544-2200. I repeat the number, 703-544-2200, as well as info@somireddylaw.com. I repeat again, info @somireddylaw.com, and we will provide these details as well on the Facebook page, so you can go ahead and find these details. And for sure, if I miss, I know I missed many calls, so sorry for it. As per the time permit, I'm gonna end up this session in few minutes, and so sorry for that. And thank you all for joining us today. I hope this session is so informative and valuable to you. And special thanks to Santosh Garu for taking this call, and you're giving us you're sharing your valuable time with us. And really thank you so much. And hope this session was so informative. And I see so many persons on the live as well. And here is the Facebook page where you can go. Facebook.com/immigration forum. I repeat, Facebook.